Hi everyone, this is PhoneArena's look at the new Samsung Fascinate, which is the fourth Galaxy S phone to be released by Samsung following the Captivate, Vibrant, and Epic 4G. The Fascinate here, as you can see, is a very sleek device. It's also pretty fashionable with its all black construction. The front is very minimalistic. Just have your earpiece speaker up here on the top with the light status controls, as well as the four touch-sensitive control buttons down on the bottom. Around the edges here, there's a chrome accent piece, which gives it a nice little bit of extra style. And on the back, there's a little bit of a pattern on the rear battery cover. Overall, the device is fairly attractive. It's fairly thin, 0.39 inches thick, which is actually the same thickness as the Motorola Droid X. But naturally, with the Droid X, you get that little bit of a hump here at the top of the phone, which isn't going to be on the Fascinate, which does make it a little bit more sleeker overall. Of course, one of the main features on the Fascinate is the impressive 4-inch Super Amoled display at a WVGA resolution 480 by 800 pixels. The display has a very excellent viewing angles, as you can see. You can view it from pretty much any direction, and the colors and contrast is going to remain quite crisp unless you move to like the very far extreme edges. Colors are very natural and saturated. You also have a very good black level on the phone as well. Underneath the display, you have the four touch-sensitive buttons here. But one issue that we noticed with them is that they only stay lit up for about 2 seconds at a time and then turn back off. Fortunately, there's no way in the menu settings to adjust this, even though you can adjust the brightness and the timer for the actual display. On the left side here, you have your volume rocker. It's fairly recessed to the sides of the phone. And on the right side is the power and lock button. On the top, there's also a 3.5 millimeter headset jack and a micro USB port that you have to move this little sliding cover back and forth to be able to access that. On the back is a 5 megapixel autofocus camera with single LED flash, and removing the battery cover will gain access to the micro SD memory card slot, which does come with a 16 gigabyte card already installed. The only issues that we have with the design of the Fascinate is in regards to the back cover here. Since it's plastic, it's fairly slippery. At times when using the device, it almost feels like it's going to leap right out of our hand due to the slippery construction. Would have rather seen soft touch coating on it, like on the Droid X, Droid 2, or the HTC Incredible, as that provides a little bit better grip than this slippery plastic that's used. Also, like we said, the micro USB port is located on the top, which you may think is a good idea, but in use, if you're actually using the phone, your battery's going low, and you go to plug the phone in while talking on it, you now have the cable coming out of the top, which kind of feels kind of awkward and looks a bit weird as well. So would have rather seen the USB port somewhere along the sides or at the bottom. On the Fascinate, like the other Galaxy S phones that we've seen, it uses an Android 2.1 operating system, but also layered on top of that is Samsung's TouchWiz 3.0 user interface. With that comes a few extras. You have a total of 7 home screens here you can swipe between. Also, you notice this little bubble bar at the top, you can immediately jump from one home screen to another. You can also drag them around, change the actual order of your home screens if you so desire. Also, here at the bottom, there's 4 quick launch buttons here for accessing your phone dial pad, your contacts, messaging, and going into your applications. Which on that, instead of having a standard up and down list, you swipe side to side. One thing that we didn't like about it is that all the pre-installed apps come alphabetically, but then any apps that you download and install are then listed after the pre-installed ones. So it's not one full alphabetical list. You have to go through the pre-installed ones and then get to the ones that you've installed. Another part of the TouchWiz interface is the different desktop widgets that you can place. A few of them that we have loaded here. This one is Buddies Now, which shows different feeds from people that you select. You can go in here, change them around. You have to manually add buddies to this though. And then you can select if you want to call or message one of them directly. The feeds and updates is basically going to download all your information from your buddies on Facebook and Twitter, your different social networking sites. You can also input up at the top your current status. The daily briefing is pretty much RSS feeds and different news sources that you can also configure. And there's also a AccuWeather weather clock here that can also be configured. Overall, there's a pretty decent selection here of shortcuts. There's a bunch of different clocks that you can choose from, but nothing really that we haven't seen before. But it doesn't really compare to the full functionality of some of the widgets that are inherent to the HTC Sense UI interface. The browser on the Fascinate isn't really anything we haven't seen before. It's WebKit based, so it displays web pages pretty accurately, but also pretty similar to other Android devices. You have the standard double tap to zoom, but more importantly the actual pinch to zoom, and what happens is the text is automatically reformatted to fit within your different zoom level. Also, what's nice is even though right now it doesn't have the actual full flash 10.1 since it's running Android 2.1, but it does have a flash light, so you can do some basic flash animation and usage on here. Overall, browser is pretty good, and definitely one of the better ones that we've seen lately, and of course will only get better when the Fro 2.2 update becomes available. A few of the other applications that come pre-installed is Verizon's 3G mobile hotspot, where you can connect up to 5 devices to the Fascinate via Wi-Fi, which then in turn connect it over the eVideo network. There's the All-Share on here, which is the DLNA capable for being able to access and connect between your phone, your computer, and your television. You got Microsoft Bing on here, which we're not really that fond of. Also, as you might have noticed, there's the Bing desktop search bar widget, which replaced the Google search widget for some reason. Hopefully, though, in the update, this will be able to be replaced, but as of now, it's pretty much limited to just the Bing bar on the widget for the home screen. There's also a link here prompting you to go to the market to download the Blockbuster movie application, which we've tried on the Droid X, and for a $5 rental for 24 hours is a bit pricey, so hopefully we'll see a Netflix one come out. Got your calculator here, calendar, which also syncs up to Google and Facebook as well. Different clocks here for different alarms, rolled clock, stopwatch, and timer. There's a desk cradle, which turns your phone into almost like a alarm clock for your nightstand. And there's the 3D gallery as well, which we've seen on other Android 2.1 devices. Can load up images here, and also do pinch and zoom. The Fascinate is also excellent at playing your video collection. We've been able to play DivX, XVid, and MPEG-4, H.264, and encoded videos without any problems whatsoever. We'll load up here the Avatar trailer. As you can see, the colors are pretty good. Playback is also very smooth on the device. A few other applications that come installed is Kindle, Mobile IM for accessing your AIM, Windows Live, and Yahoo Buddy List. There's also a pretty good music player on here. At the top there's a tab that will list all of your songs, playlist, albums, and artists. Going into the player here, there's different settings that you can choose from. There's a disc view, which is also a nice graphical representation of the different albums and songs that you have. You can also move to a alphabetical list here. Also comes with a built-in graphic equalizer, pre-designed customs here, other musical effects, and also comes with a 5.1 channel effect, but it only works if you're using stereo earbuds. Also, when the music player is being used in the background, you have it also on the drop-down notification bar for quick access. But unfortunately, there isn't a music desktop widget, which we're kind of wondering why that wasn't included, since that's pretty standard on Android devices. Other apps here comes with the Skype Mobile as well, Tetris, and Think Free Office, which you can use to load up any of your files. It will access Excel, PDF, PowerPoint, and Microsoft Word files. Also got your selection of VCast music, tones, and videos on here. There's also a VZ Navigator for GPS driving directions, but it does cost $10 a month to use. Thankfully, though, you can download Google Maps with navigation, which is free to use. The interface for the 5 megapixel camera is also pretty basic, but does have a decent amount of settings to it. Can change your autofocus mode, as well as different scene modes that are available. Also, other settings on here for the resolution, white balance, timer, ISO, and light metering. Basically works by touching on the screen to choose where you want to focus, and then the little square icon will turn green once it's focused on your subject, and then all you have to do is press the camera button to take the picture, which is pretty fast and gives you a nice 2-second review, which of course you can turn off if you want. Unfortunately, the quality of the images taken by the Fascinate aren't that impressive. We've noticed a bit of a haze to the images, which almost give it a out of focus look. We also noticed this on the other Galaxy S phones as well. So this bit of haze kind of takes away from the detail, but the actual color representation is pretty good. Single LED flash is better than having nothing, of course, but still it doesn't really illuminate a room that well, so it's pretty much good for taking close-up pictures, and that's about it. Going into the camcorder mode, can record HD videos up to 1280 by 720p, and what's nice about that is the videos can be up to 30 frames per second, which is pretty good. Here's a video that we shot earlier, and as you can see, the playback is pretty smooth with it at 30 frames per second. The call quality on the Fascinate is also very good. Voices through the earpiece speaker are clear and natural sounding, with pretty good tones on it. We also noticed that it's actually quite loud. We had to turn the volume down to medium to suit our taste. The speakerphone volume is also very loud on high. You will get a little bit of a distortion, so turning it down to lower medium does resolve this. Signal reception is also pretty good, not quite as high as on the Motorola Droid by a couple decibels, but it's pretty close. Overall, the Samsung Fascinate has a lot to offer Verizon customers. The 4-inch Super Amoled display is, of course, one of its biggest selling features. Also, the 1 GHz Hummingbird processor does provide for a very good speed of the device, as well as excellent video playback for your own videos or for gaming as well. The TouchWiz 3.0 interface, it's either a love it or hate it, because the way it does change up the Android design. It doesn't really feel like a Android phone when you first use it, because most people that are familiar with Android will be like, let's see, you got Bing on here, and going into applications, it's not scrolling up and down, it's going left to right. Maybe this is some sort of a Windows mobile device or something like that, but in fact it's not, it's Android. So hopefully when the 2.2 update comes out, it will give it more of that Android feel that we kind of prefer over the TouchWiz. Some of the widgets on here are okay, but they're not really as good as the HTC SenseUI widgets that are on the HTC Droid Incredible and other HTC phones. So overall, it's a nice device. We'd definitely recommend it. It's kind of a tough choice here between the Fascinate and the Droid X. Mostly your main difference is going to be with the screen. Your 4-inch Super AMOLED composed of a 4.3 TFT LCD. As you can see, there is some difference here with the colors, which is even more noticeable in person. So this the better quality screen on the Fascinate does definitely help it out as well. And on the Droid X, it's more has that Android feel to it, even though it does have some of the Moto Blur elements to it. So that's about it here. Be sure to check out our review of the Samsung Fascinate at PhoneArena.com.